I think there are a lot of KDP low content publishers and self-published authors on Amazon who misunderstand BSR. In this video, I will explain how the Amazon bestseller rank works and which factors influence it. After watching this video, you will be able to accurately interpret BSR rates to increase your sales and Amazon KDP royalties. Keep watching till the end. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I talk about how to make money online by self-publishing no content and low content books on Amazon and create passive income from scratch. If this sounds something that you might be interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. I think you already watched some YouTube videos with clickbait titles like KDP niches to make $1,000 per month or $150 a day passive income KDP niche. If you remember these videos, they show you the BSR rates of some of the bestseller books for some specific niches. Then they type the BSR rates into the Amazon Kindle sales calculator tools and show you how much you can make if you make similar books. Does it sound familiar? Could you please write in the comment section below how many of you managed to achieve these results before for the niches they show you? I think very few of you, because they don't tell you about the dark side. At the end of the video, you will understand why you couldn't reach these results. First of all, let's start with the definition. So what is Amazon Bestsellers Rank? Amazon Bestsellers Rank shows how well a product sells relative to the other products in a particular category. And you can find BSR information under the product details section. Books can appear in up to 3 categories. And every main category and subcategory on Amazon has its own individual bestsellers ranking system. Therefore, you may see different BSR information in this section. As you all know, the lower the product's BSR, the better its sales. For example, a product ranked number 1 has much higher sales than a product ranked number 1000. But the problem is, how is Amazon's sales rank calculated? First of all, Amazon doesn't reveal exactly how the bestsellers rank is calculated. It is always better to look at what Amazon says about it to have the best answer. Therefore, I will check both Amazon Help Center and KDP Help Center to find some clues and try to make a list of the factors that influence the BSR ratings. I believe that visualizing with a list will help you understand better. Let's start with the Amazon Help Center. They say here that the Amazon bestsellers calculation is based on Amazon sales and is updated hourly to reflect recent and historical sales of every item sold on Amazon. So I am underlining 2 phrases in this BSR calculation definition to put on my list. The first one is updated hourly, and the second one is recent and historical sales. Let's check the KDP Help Center to find some extra factors for understanding their BSR calculations better. They say here that bestseller and category ranks are based on customer activity of your book relative to the activity of other books. We understand by this sentence that the rankings are relative. I will add this information also on our list. So the third factor is relative to the activity of other books. If we continue to read, it is written here that rankings are updated hourly but may take 24 to 48 hours to appear. We already put this factor on our list, but taking 24 to 48 hours is a new information for us. Therefore, I will include this one also in my list. Another important piece of information they say here is that rankings reflect recent and historical activity, with recent activity weighted more heavily. It is very important to understand this while interpreting the rates. So let's add the information about the weight of the recent activity to our lists. They also say here that when we calculate bestsellers rank, we consider the entire history of a book's activity. So they don't look at a specific sales period like last week or last month. They take into consideration of the entire history of a book. I think it is quite important to know this also. So I am adding this information to our lists. If we check the last paragraph, they say here that the ranking for books with consistent activity histories that have been available on Amazon for a long time may fluctuate less than the ranking of new books, or books whose histories aren't as stable. So we understand here that new books rankings fluctuate more. I am adding this information also to our list. So our list is ready. If I make a summary, Amazon bestseller rankings are updated hourly but may take 24 to 48 hours to appear, and they are relative to the sales activity of other books in the same category. Rankings reflect recent and historical sales activity, with recent activity weighted more heavily. Amazon considers the entire history of a book's activity while calculating bestsellers rank. All BSRs fluctuate, but it is normal for the new books to have more ranking fluctuations than those that have been available on Amazon for a long time. Now, let's look at some examples to understand better. First example. Imagine two books both published a month ago in the same category. The first book, called Book A, sells 2 to 3 copies per day regularly, and the second book, called Book B, sells only 1 copy per week. So normally we can expect that Book A has a lower BSR than Book B. However, if Book B manages to sell 10 copies when you are checking its BSR on a specific day, you may see that it has a lower BSR than Book A for the specific day and hour due to 3 reasons according to our lists. The first reason is that BSRs are updated hourly, and the second reason is recent sales activity is weighted more heavily. So even though Book A sold 60 to 90 copies in the last month, selling 10 copies on that specific day may bring Book B's BSR lower than Book A. However, it doesn't mean that it will stay like this long time. The day after, Book A's BSR may be calculated again lower than Book B if Book B doesn't get any sales. And the third reason is ranking of books with less history on Amazon fluctuates more sharply. As they say on the KDP Help Center website, one sale of a very popular book may not influence its rank much at all, but one sale of a lower volume book may significantly improve that book's rank. The second example. Imagine your book, called Book C, sells 10 copies per day for a month, and its BSR stays between 25,000 to 30,000. Even though it keeps the same sales quantity when you check, you may see higher or lower BSRs for your book. As we noted on our list, rankings are relative. Therefore, your book's rank may improve if other books in the same category see a decrease in sales activity. Or, your rank may drop if other books see an increase in sales activity. I think that many new low-content booksellers and self-published authors are confused about understanding the difference between Amazon BSR and organic rankings on Amazon. As I explained, Amazon BSR shows how well a product sells relative to other products in a particular category. On the other hand, organic ranking shows how well a product ranks for a specific search term or keyword. It means that having a lower BSR doesn't mean being ranked well for a specific search term or keyword. Therefore, when you search on Amazon, you can see some products with higher BSRs in a better position than those that have a lower BSRs. You may also see several products with an orange bestseller badge when you type a certain search term or keyword. However, if you check the product details of each of them, you will see that they are bestsellers in different categories. When we talk about badges, I have to remind you that the Amazon's Choice badge is not the same thing as the bestseller badge. The Amazon's Choice badge shows that the product with a badge is the best match for the keyword that customer type in the search bar. And this badge is given when a product has an absolute majority of all sales coming from a specific keyword. If there is no Amazon's Choice badge for a specific search term or keyword, it means that there isn't any product that dominates the sales for this search term. If you have watched this video so far, I hope Amazon's bestseller rank is clear for you now. If you think so, let's continue with how we can interpret BSR rates. First of all, you can roughly estimate how many sales a product on Amazon is currently selling. As I said before, Amazon never shares the exact formula of their BSR calculations. Therefore, daily and monthly sales numbers of BSR to sales calculator tools are also estimated quantities. Some of these tools are accurate and some of them are not. However, if you check your own book's BSR, you can decide easily which tools work well. Secondly, you can estimate the demand and the level of competition for a particular niche. When you are doing niche research in a specific category, if you see some products on the first page with low BSRs, it means that there is a demand for this niche. However, do not forget that most of the time if there is a demand, there is competition even though there are relatively fewer search results like 1000 for a specific search term or keyword. So this is exactly what some YouTubers don't tell in their clickbait titled videos. They are just talking about how much money you can make if you create some similar products. Yes, you can make $1,000 per month or $150 a day if you create some similar products. I don't have any objections to their calculations. But my question is, how much money you are ready to spend to reach these earnings? BSRs give you an idea about how many copies you need to sell daily and monthly to be ranked in the place of your competitor's product. As I told you in my previous video about ranking KDP low content books, 35% of the customers click on the first product featured on a search page. And the first 3 listings get around 60% of all clicks. Also, the products on the first page of the search results get at least 80% of clicks. So how can you rank your just published product on the first page for the niche that YouTubers show and win the competition against the products that have a decent sales history with lots of positive comments? Frankly speaking, the only way to succeed is to sell as much as your competitors do daily and monthly. But it is not going to happen if you just cross your fingers and wait for this result after publishing your book. Let's check together what you can do. The only way to have a lower BSR is by boosting the sales of your product and consistently keeping it at a level better than your competitors. First of all, be aware that if you want to compete with the bestsellers in your niche and want to make $1,000 as the YouTubers say, you have to make a budget for marketing. Because most of the time your organic ranking efforts will not be enough to compete with them. Be sure about the quality of your product. When you launch a new product in a competitive niche, try to offer a unique product that stands out from the crowd. Do not forget that the quality of your product will define the customer reviews that may help you increase your sales. Increase your organic visibility. First of all, try to increase your organic visibility. Many different factors influence your organic rankings. I made a very detailed video about it previously. If you haven't watched it yet, I strongly recommend you to watch it to see the whole picture. Starting with keyword research and optimizing your listings is a good way to increase your organic visibility. I have another video only dedicated to this subject. So if you are new to the self-publishing business, you can learn how I do it from that video. Offer competitive prices. Check the average price in your niche and offer a better price than your competitors when you launch a new product. This may increase your conversion rate. After having some sales, you can raise your price gradually. Run ads. One of the fastest ways to grow your sales in a competitive niche is advertising. BSRs give you an idea about how many copies you need to sell daily and monthly to be ranked in the place of your competitor's product on the search results page. First of all, you should calculate a target ACoS. This will help you to calculate your advertising cost to beat your competitors. ACoS is the term Amazon uses to measure how much you spend for every dollar of revenue you make. You can calculate ACoS by dividing ad spend over ad revenue and multiply the result by 100. Defining the ACoS break-even point is very important to control your advertisement's performance. The ACoS break-even point will be equal to the product's profit margin. So, if I make a quick calculation for 100 pages book with a $6.90 sales price, the estimated royalty is $1.99. So, ACoS break-even point will be 1.99 divided by 6.90 times 100 equals 28.8%. When you are running an ad for this book, if your ACoS is below 28.8%, it means that you are making a profit. And if it is above 28.8%, it means you are losing money. Depending on your strategy, you may prefer to lose money at the beginning to compete with the bestseller in your niche. Because when you reach a similar position in ranking with your competitor after some sales, it is quite possible to have also some organic sales that may compensate for your loss. If you are new to KDP self-publishing business, I don't advise you to compete with bestsellers or create similar content with them, because you may need to spend a couple of $100 daily to reach the level of their sales, and you never know how they will react against your campaign. You may need to increase your advertisement costs, and this level of competition can be frustrating for you. Drive external traffic. External traffic could come from sources like an email, social media, your website, and search engines. It is said that Amazon algorithm likes external traffic. Be aware that you need to be very careful when you are driving external traffic to your products, because if you can't get enough conversion from this external traffic, this may reduce your product scores and rankings. Therefore, you should better drive the external traffic to a landing page first, and then send this traffic to your product page from the landing page. In this way, only the people who are interested in your products can visit your Amazon product page, and this may increase your product's conversion rate on Amazon. In conclusion, while Amazon bestseller ranking is a good indicator of how well a product is selling in a particular category, checking only BSRs is not always enough to find a good niche, even though there is a fewer search result like 1000. First of all, you have to check also if you can rank your products on the first page or not. As I told you before, BSRs can give you an idea about how many copies you need to sell daily and monthly to be ranked in a good position in that category or niche. Secondly, as the BSRs are updated hourly and fluctuate frequently, you should better follow a niche or your competitor's ranking for a while, maybe 1 week, before investing your time and money to understand how much money you can make more accurately. You can use some paid tools to see BSR history of a book or follow it manually day by day. I hope this video was worth watching and it will help you increase your Amazon KDP royalties. If you think so, make sure to subscribe and like the video to support the channel. I will continue to create content about Amazon KDP low content books. See you soon in the next video.